Braw and the Brave with me, Lisa Kennedy. And first off, you know what I'm going to say? It's the socials. I know we're always telling people to get off their phones, but see when you're on it, could you follow the Braw and the Brave? We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Patreon. So if you would like to support the podcast and what we're doing here, I would be delighted if you would join us on Patreon. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, going to give us a wee subscribe there. Just click on the thing. That would be amazing. Thanks, pals. And also excitingly, we are sponsored this episode, which is so amazing, by not one, but two amazing sponsors. So first off, we are sponsored by Go Kids Performing Arts School, which is in Wishaw. So if you are in the North Lanarkshire area or surrounding area and you have a young budding performer in your house, then you need to check out Go Kids Performing Arts. It is a fun, creative, safe space for young people to be expressive. They do singing, they do drama, musical theatre, which you know is one of my loves. So please go and check them out. And also, amazingly, they have the Other Kings, which I just love. I love that name, which is a new, exciting creative space in the heart of Wishaw. So if you're planning a performance, if you have a dance school, if you have a theatre group, if you are a comedian, anything that can go on a stage, or even if you're planning an event and you need a lovely big space, then the Other Kings is a exciting new venue. And it is exciting because in Scotland, we're always looking for new spaces to be creative and come together and make things. So I'm very excited to be visiting them very soon. So thank you so much to Go Kids Performing Arts and the Other Kings. But I am extremely excited because I have a guest in the podcast that I feel like I've known forever, but this is the first time we're actually meeting in real life. It's Gavin Oattes.
Hey. It is weird.
So weird.
It's lovely weird.
I came in and I was like, oh, there's Gavin.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's like, oh, it's my pal. But
Totally.
it was only on the drive through from Edinburgh that I thought, we've never actually met.
Actually in real life?
In person, yeah.
It's so nice to see you.
I dream of hair like yours.
Listen.
Daily.
I know you can grow hair because
I used to have a lot of
I know something about you, which is in this lovely book.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You once grew lots of hair on your face.
I entered the World Moustache and Beards Championships in 2007.
Yes.
Not with this, I might add.
Okay. And you were like fourth in the world.
I came fourth in the world.
That's mental.
Yeah, I don't know anyone else that can claim that they came. I feel like fourth was better than first. I don't know why.
Totally.
But I set myself the most ridiculous challenge. It was like, the whole competition exists to support like men's testicular cancer charities and things like that. I think it's
Brilliant.
Lots of charities nowadays.
Great.
But no one asked me to do this. And I realised it was exactly 90 days before the competition and I had no beard. So I thought, don't shave for 90 days. I entered a category called partial beard freestyle.
Partial?
I don't know why you have to do that when you say freestyle.
Freestyle.
In other words, do what you want. Sculpt it. So I didn't shave for 90 days. And this was 2007 when beards weren't considered in or fashionable. Mm-hmm. And it looked horrific. I could keep things in it and all. That was a popular game. And then the idea was that the day of the competition, sculpt it. And I did. And
it's wild.
Fourth in the world.
I love it. I totally love
it was in Brighton. It was like a human version of Crufts.
Yes.
I loved it. It was an amazing experience. We filmed the whole thing on 2 different cameras, and I've never done anything with the footage. It's like a documentary of me going to the biggest beard and moustache tournament in the world.
But they are going to make a documentary of your life at some point. I mean, I feel it coming. I feel it coming.
Possibly. There's a lot has gone on.
Yeah,
I haven't written about or spoken about yet.
Well, I mean, I did tell you that this is my favourite book of all time.
Do you know, it still makes me feel weird when people say things like that. I love it and I so appreciate it. And I think the thing when you write books is I've learned that I write them for me during whatever's going on in my life at that point, and I didn't realise it with that one, because it was my first proper solo effort. I have other books that I'd co-authored with some other amazing people, but this one, it was only afterwards that I realised you wrote this for you during a tough time.
Yeah.
But when I write it, I don't think, do you know who might love this? You know.
But then it's authentic. It's coming from the heart because you're speaking to yourself and you're going into yourself.
Yeah. Which is not always a happy place to be. It can be a tough
I
place.
remember actually this came at a really tough time for me. And I think that's why I just have such a love for it, because it really just felt like a proper anchor. Like I felt like parts of it, you were like, I was reading something that I would have written about myself, especially around anxiety.
Yeah.
And just you're just being so candid and so open in something that's so final.
Well, this is, and I think that very thing there about, when I talk about things like anxiety, a lot of people don't expect that from me because I speak for a living, because I used to do stand-up all over the world, and they're like, oh, I've seen you on stage, you don't get anxious. Well, let me tell you some stories, and they're like, no way. But when I put it in books, like I don't know how else to say it, and I write quite uniquely, like I write almost conversationally, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I don't know how else to do it. I write as I would say it on stage. And it's amazing how many people get in touch and say, thank you for your vulnerability. No one used to say that. No one, like...
It used to be like, shh, don't talk about your thing.
Yeah. See, going to high school in the 90s, nobody ever said, be more vulnerable.
So true.
Quite, well, no one talked about anything like that in those days. But no, so when I see people like yourself and you mention these books, oh man, it gets me, it fills me right up. It's great.
And you've kindly gifted me this, which I know is going to possibly be my second or first most favourite book in the world. They're now going to be vying for the top spot.
Keen to hear how you get on with it, because I'm proud of them both. Confidently Lost has come from a really, really interesting, challenging moment in my life, but is incredibly upbeat, fun, funny. There's some honest stuff in there, which people now, I think, expect. Because like the last one, Life Will See Now, came out, oh man, it was like 3 weeks before COVID.
Yes.
Or 4 weeks. But
that's
fact,
right.
it was.
Yeah, because you were on the podcast during COVID.
That's right.
So that we had met, but online.
A month. Yeah, it was,
and that's when I got the book.
Yeah, it was like the 20th of February. I think lockdown was the 24th of March. So, I mean, who knew that was coming? So initially I was devastated because all the copies that went out to the airports, which is a big market for these kind of books, they all get, it's almost like a sale return, so they get sent back.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone's books did. But I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
But then everyone's buying books online, and a lot of people were struggling and looking for something.
Yeah, of course.
Nothing just went like that. And
amazing.
Yeah, what a journey.
So, Gavin Oattes. What
with
a
two T's and an E.
With 2 T's and an E. Correct. What makes you tick?
I think it's, oh man, these questions, like, oh, my brain instantly just goes, oh. So I think it has changed massively over the years. A huge part of me was driven by this, it's very much in the books, this idea of wanting to make it. But that's an interesting goal to have when you're a teenager, because what does making it actually mean? I was driven as a teenager by this almost obsessive desire to be on stage and to write and to make people laugh, except I'd never been on stage before. I didn't do drama, I didn't do music. I didn't want to go on stage, because in the 90s, if you were on stage, it was because you were trying to be Oasis. But what no one knew was I was behind the scenes writing comedy sketches and scripts, and that wasn't considered particularly cool in those days. And, for a 16-year-old to be sitting writing. Whereas now I think that might be quite different. But but I'm 46 now. I'm nearly 47, and I think after COVID, I think I realised that my family, and it's the old cliche, but my family, seeing their faces when we're together and doing something wonderful, amazing, whether that's travelling, whether it's just cooking something amazing in the kitchen, being with them, that is just my world now. I think my concept of success has shifted. For me, it's more about contentment and fulfillment now. I think we teach young people in schools to be successful and think about success. Yeah. But I'm at a point now where I'm now thinking, as a teenager, my goal to make it, that's the same sort of thing. But what if we taught fulfillment, contentment, and peace of mind? So there's been a shift in my head, and I just want to, still learning to be a bit more present. I'm always thinking a million miles ahead, Really
yeah,
need
pal.
to try and rein that in at times. But yeah, just my kids and my wife, they're just the best people in the world.
Oh, I love
and
that.
if I could just pack up and run away with them all and switch my phone off forever, which I might
That's
one
okay.
day,
Yeah.
one day.
I'm glad we caught you now. In
yeah.
case you decide it's the morning.
yeah.
We've documented this moment.
Yeah. But I tell you, and speaking of the books though, the writing, like I have fallen in love with writing. Like I don't think that had happened in previous books, but the new one, Confidently Lost,
Interesting.
something has happened
Okay.
where every day now I just want to write. Like I still love being on stage and talking.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's my main thing. I speak,
yeah.
but writing, I don't know what it is. It's so cathartic. It's exciting. I love it.
So did the books that, before Confidently Lost, did they come out of other people saying you should write a book because of your keynote, speaking, because of
a little
sheer
bit.
knowledge, and people were saying, well, that's the next step, you should put down what you're saying in your amazing speeches?
A little bit, and the early books were very much my stuff from my speeches.
Yeah.
Just written on a bit of paper, really. And I really enjoyed the process, but I don't think I'd found the process.
Got you.
yet.
Right, okay. Yes.
I wasn't sure. It turns out 6 a.m. till 8 a.m. in the morning. That's me at my best.
Really?
Just laptop, notepad, coffee, glasses on, go. And I get a ton of words down. It's not always good,
Yeah.
but I get a ton of words down. 2 hours after that, nah, you're not getting
And do
anything.
you just go to the table or wherever you're writing, or the laptop, and just literally just let your brain dump, or do you have a mission of
No structure,
I'm going to write
no
about
plan.
this?
Nope, no
Okay.
structure, no plan.
That's like the artist's way. I've never read it, but people always tell me that I should do it.
I don't necessarily start at the start. I mean, I do to begin with.
Yes.
But it's just that I've got this real need now to write, and I love it. And I think if you told my 16-year-old self that you're going to love writing, I'd be like, not so much. But then I think back to what I just said. Like I was sitting in my bedroom at night writing comedy sketches.
Yeah.
So there was obviously something there about writing. It's just as a teenager, nobody really told me I was good at writing.
And as a teenager, were you considering teaching at all? Because you ended up becoming a primary teacher.
I was a primary school teacher, yeah. So I was considering. My mum was a PE teacher. She's retired now.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought about doing PE. I loved sport.
Yeah.
And I was always surrounded by teachers. Aunts and uncles are teachers. Cousins are teachers.
So it's just the natural.
That's it. Mostly PE teachers.
Yeah.
And I just thought I'll do that. But I also was watching Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer religiously. And then Jim Carrey came into my life. Rick Mayall was already in my life.
Yeah.
This real character, physical comedy. And at the back of my mind, I was like,
That's what I want to do.
that's what I want to do. So when I finally went off to do teaching, so that was 1997, which is still, 10 years ago?
Of course. Totally.
I did a 4-year degree in primary school teaching. But what started to happen was I was in the classroom during the day with the kids and in the clubs at night doing stand-up.
Wild.
And I discovered they're kind of the same thing. It's the same thing. You have to capture them quick, take them on a journey, tell stories, make them laugh, pick them up. And hopefully at the end, those people leave thinking, I'd like to do more of that.
So true. And that's holding space for people is such an art form.
Yeah.
It should be. If you do it right. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a gift for sure. I know it from working in youth theatre and working in dance for however many years it's been. And yeah, you can make a real impact if you're coming at it from a real place of authenticity and of passion.
Well, this is it. I mean, I never went to drama school. And like I said, didn't do drama at school.
Yeah.
Nobody in my family were ever on stage. So there was just this real need to create and to get up there and do something, but to do something really silly. Like I just wanted to be silly, but silly that genuinely made people laugh and feel great. And my first ever venture into comedy was with a pal of mine from school, Rory, and who I refer to as Rolls, and we were known as Gavin Rolls.
I love that.
We should have been Rolls and Oates. That would have made much more sense. Never thought about that. It was just like Ant and Dec, Gavin Rolls. But we were our first gig. We were 18. Neither of us had ever been on stage before, and we just started doing like open spots and competitions, and it was wacky. Like it was proper ridiculous costumes,
Brilliant.
crazy voices. I mean, there was no punchline. It was just nonsense. It was very Vic and Bob.
Yeah.
And people were laughing. Not always. We got booed off on our second ever gig, which was still to this day. I mean, that puts shivers up. I mean, it was.
But it was good that you kept going though.
That's exactly it. We were like, well, what can we learn here?
Yeah.
And that took us all. I mean, we did the Melbourne Comedy Festival when we were
really?
21, like pre-social
That's
media
amazing.
days. No one knew who we were. You couldn't put stuff online
No.
to get an audience
that's
out
right.
there. We just
doing
booked
it.
a ticket and we went and we booked a
love
venue
that.
and we sold out our show, and everyone went, well, they must be dead famous because they're from the UK.
Yeah, we are.
Well, this was it. So we got billed alongside all the big names. So everyone thought, well,
Sure.
we'll buy tickets. But then we came home months, like almost like it was about 9 or 10 months later, having had this extraordinary experience. We grew up in Troon. We came home to Troon, where nobody had kept up with what we were doing because there was no social media.
Yeah, of course.
No one cared. And it was just,
They were like, where's the street party? Where's the big welcome home?
we had been riding this extraordinary wave
Rubbish.
of, which was totally alien to us. Two
Yeah,
wee
yeah.
boys from Troon who liked rugby. You know, all of a sudden performing in these amazing theatres and comedy clubs, and we had won a wee award, and it was extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved back to Troon, and we were back with our parents, and we were like, oh,
This is not very rock and roll all of a sudden.
what do we do now? And then we realised we had no audience in Scotland.
It's interesting, eh? Like the age of social media, and you think, well, I don't know how you feel, but like it's that kind of no regrets thing. You're like, you can't look back and go, oh well, I shouldn't have done that, or we should have stayed, or what if, that kind of thing. Like, what's the point really of looking back with that kind of attitude? But it's interesting, like, to think if there was social media,
Well,
where that would have taken you.
we could have recorded the whole thing. We could have been posting every day. People could have watched the show.
Yeah.
We could have built a following. We could have, because it was all sketch based.
Mm-hmm.
So we snippets of sketches, full sketches. But no. I tell you what we did. Every fortnight, we wrote a diary in the Troon Times.
Did you?
Yeah, the Troon Times.
Love it.
Oh,
I'm sure
I tell you-
people were loving the updates in the Troon Times.
I'm not sure anybody but our grandparents were reading it.
I used to say that about the newspaper in Clackmannanshire. They would often put me in the front page if there was nothing else happening. And I'm like, guys, it's a slow day in the newsroom.
Well, that's it. I mean, I remember when we got booked out, or when we booked up to go to Australia and we had got a venue, there was a picture of the two of us at the side of the road, thumbing a lift to
Love
Australia,
it.
and that was big news in Troon.
Of course.
And then no one
That
spoke
was big
about it
news.
again. But I mean, there was a bonkers thing happened when we were away. There was a guy from Troon travelling at the time, and we just happened to bump into him in Australia. We were pals, not like super close, but we were
Yeah.
pals. We knew who it was. Well, everyone knows everyone in Troon. And we got chatting, and we'd mentioned in our diary in the Troon Times that we had met this guy, and we named him, and we joked. We were like, so if anybody knows who it is, he seems to be lost. And it was just a joke, like, guy from Troon, it's just a wee joke. We got an email from a woman saying that her son, 20 years before, had fallen off an oil rig and had never been seen since, and it was the same name. It was the same name.
Wow.
And they were like, I shouldn't laugh because it's not funny.
Jeez,
But she was like, can you please confirm it's my son? And we were like, oh no.
It's not him.
No, it was just a
It's not
joke.
him. Oh my
It was
gosh.
we were just talking about our pal Dave. And we had,
that's
so
horrific.
while we were away, and again, you can't just quickly
No.
message,
can't.
so, you know, we were had this woman thinking we'd found her son.
Oh my God.
Whilst
story.
wearing dresses and beards and
I know.
diving about on stage.
Like, what is this life?
Yeah.
But you, to me, are just somebody who just does stuff. Like, you have the thought, and then you just do. So, like, you're like, I'm just going to grow an amazing beard and do you know what I mean? And just go and do that amazing competition and come fourth in the world. I'm just going to go to Australia with my pal, and I'm going to become a primary teacher and inspire all these young people. I'm going to start Tree of Knowledge. Like, have you always been, I don't want to say the word ambitious because that sometimes has negative connotations, but have you always been like, I don't know, just somebody who's motivated to just try?
I think so. I think I'm just of that mindset of, well, I would like to do that, so I'll go and do that.
Yeah.
And that sounds,
But is there any fear involved at the time?
Yeah, I think less back then.
Okay, interesting. I always wonder about this, about naivety of a young person just
Well,
being like,
I
I can do that.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I was not a confident teenager. Like, I really wasn't a confident teenager. The thought of being on stage, I wasn't one of the cool kids I desperately wanted to be. I was trying to be. I was one of the rugby lads.
Okay.
Definitely, whilst I was lacking in confidence and huge anxiety, it was that thing of, well, if you want to do something, I don't know if it was a confidence thing or just there isn't any other way to do it. You just have to do the thing in order to be able to do the thing. So one of the things I've written about in the new book was actually that trip to Australia. So I was 21, probably just turned 22 by the time the festival actually came around. And the Melbourne Comedy Festival was the second biggest festival in the world. And I was writing in the book about how they said, look, no one knows who you are. You have to make a noise. And they said, there's this big event in Melbourne City Square where the world's media comes to the square and every act is there, handing out flyers, getting interviewed. You got to get yourself seen and heard. And we were like, okay, we'll wear our kilts. That's different. And then we'll book a pipe band.
Right.
Why not? They said, be seen and be heard.
You're like, right.
So we thought, well, we'll wait until the whole thing is in full flow, and then we'll get the pipers
Love it.
to I don't know what the phrase is. Start up the pipes, and then we'll come round in our kilts. Our show had a terrible name. It was Braveheart, and we had the blue and white makeup on, except it was like a cat. And
of course,
my mate had this wonderful long red hair, so he looked like a proper Highlander, and I had a cat's face on, as you do. And we came round the corner carrying a Scottish flag, a handful of flyers, and a pipe band behind us. And every camera just went, whoom, and everybody came to us. And one of the women that ran the festival came up to us. She was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I said be seen and be heard, but this is bonkers. And I was like, well, you said be seen and be heard. So in my head, I'm like, I've just done what you said. But I don't know if that's just me, but like she was like, do this. So we were like, well, we'll do that. And because how else did we get noticed? I can't play guitar. I'm just going to shout. Everyone's shouting. We came around the corner, had this extraordinary experience. Every camera came to us. But now, would I do that now? And I don't think I would, Lisa. I think, I don't know if I have that.
Interesting.
I think the fear now to do something like that is, I can't believe I did it. Particularly at that age, I just look back, because my background wasn't performing. I had only done maybe 10 or 12 gigs in Scotland. I'm like, what were you doing?
Yes, and do you think it's to do with social media and online nowadays? Like, it feels just like, because I think growing up with social media, like I don't envy young people now, because like we all did silly things and daft things and they weren't documented within an inch of their life. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Nowadays,
what's that vying for attention now?
Yeah.
I mean, I was literally vying for attention.
Yeah, totally.
But in that context, that made sense.
Of course.
Whereas now we're vying for attention in our normal lives.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that constant need. I was thinking recently about what being unimpressive means nowadays. And I've become fascinated with this concept of the power of being unimpressive. What that actually means. Doesn't mean you're bad at something. It's just you're not constantly seen to be the best or impressing always, which I think is what people are trying to do now. So like, I think the most happy people are the people who are just making lasagna with their family or their partner and not going, we should film this. Let's record this. Let's post a picture of this. Let's do a funny skit, because then you're not enjoying making the lasagna with your partner. You're thinking about how to be impressive.
Yeah.
So actually, the power of being unimpressive, maybe that's what's missing. I don't know. No,
you're totally hot a nerve, and I think I struggle with this, with the Braw and the Brave,
it's
because
amazing.
I mean it really is.
It.
I don't mean this studio. I just mean in the sense that I feel like I am always like, look at this thing I've made. And I think it obviously is because it comes from the world that I inhabit every day in life, which is the arts. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair though, a lot of what I do, I doesn't get posted, doesn't get shared, because I work with young people. So I'm not posting all that work. But then some of the other stuff, like the Braw and the Brave, I have to shout about it. Not because I want people to come and look at my face and listen to me, because I want them to listen to you. Because all these amazing guests that I get on and all the chats, I want people to feel seen, heard, motivated, inspired. That's like my ultimate goal.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful thing to do. And I think, like, I have to shout about my books.
Yes.
You know, I'm not a big time celebrity with the most ginormous marketing
How no?
budget.
How no? How you
Hey,
know?
I'll take that marketing
Listen.
budget, but I don't have that. The only way, and my publisher are great, and they do what they can, but they've got lots of books,
Okay,
and
yeah.
like everyone, budgets.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
And they're lovely, and like I say, they try and help where they can,
Of course.
but I have to shout about my
Yeah.
books, and I hope that other people like you shout about my books, because how else do I get them out there? And the best way for me to get stuff out there is things like Amazon, and to drive people there, I need LinkedIn and Instagram, and but I do think the day's coming. I don't know how close I am, but I think I'm getting to the point where I think I'm going to switch it all off.
Okay.
Not yet. I think once, because I was about to say there's an element of I think I still need it. I don't. None of us do. None of us do.
No, we would absolutely survive without
but
it.
I know my business, for example, benefits from me being on there.
I guess it's then just compartmentalising that, isn't it? And being like, when I'm working and I'm using it, and then when I'm not, I can let it go.
But I think I think it's different when you're pushing a product, or this to me is like the way you describe this, it's almost like you're offering a service to people to share great stories, but like it's a project, it's a passion project, it could be a career. I think that's different to me than you're with your kids, you're with your partner, you're cooking, you're on holiday. Just give it a rest.
You don't need to document it all and put it online for everybody else to.
I mean, we had Mother's Day the other day there, and here's all these people wishing their mums Happy Mother's Day on Facebook, and I'm like, your mum's not reading that. And if she is, why are you not saying it to her face? Who are you showing off to? Like, because like if you wish your child happy birthday on Facebook, well, your kid's probably not on Facebook. So what are you just telling us? Are you just? I'm being a wee bit pernickety here.
No, I totally get it.
Because we've all done it.
We're all we've all done it, and we're all doing it. And it's just like sometimes just being a bit like stop and reflecting. Like, what is this all about? Am I doing it just because everybody else is doing it? Are we just all being sheep?
I think there's a bit of that because we are built to follow.
Yeah.
I think we're just probably
be like in within crowd and all that, and that's what I think is tricky for parents. Like with kids wanting social media and all that as well in this day and age, because it's that struggle of like, do you let them have phones? Do you let them have social media even when they're old enough? You know, because I know so many kids have got social media that aren't even the age to have social media.
Well, that's it. And we talk about the kids a lot, but actually us adults are just as bad. We've made this happen. But as a dad to an 18-year-old boy, man, and a 14-year-old young woman, social media is a hot topic.
I bet.
And my wife's a head teacher of a high school, so it comes up a lot. And I do talk a bit about social media in the books and things. But do you know what? If you've got a thing that you are passionate about, there is also that part of me going, well, shout about it. You know,
totally.
tell the world.
And it's not the devil, the social media. I think it's just like, it's about how you use it and how you.
I think it might be.
How much do you think so?
I think it might be.
Maybe we just need to do better at it. And I don't know what that means.
Do you know, I remember a couple of years ago watching. I was sitting with my son, so he'd have been 16 at the time, and we watched the performance that Queen gave at Live Aid.
That's interesting. Right? I've just finished We Will Rock You last week.
Oh, yes, I saw that. Yeah,
totally.
Amazing.
And had an actor on a couple of weeks ago who's just came off the West End of playing mid-year in the Live Aid musical.
I watched your interview.
Yeah, George.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
Do you know, so I'd love to be in these shows. I am
really.
Oh,
really.
Listen, you've no idea how much I would love to be, or have gone down that sort of acting.
Okay.
I actually thought about going to drama school, but no one I knew had ever been to drama school, and I had never done drama, so I just went, well, I can't do that. Again, years and years ago now, but
you could do it now.
I think I could.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Well, we're going to invent an 8th day of the week.
I've got a lot going on, Lisa.
I'm like, do you want to join a club? I've got a show coming up.
Problem is, most of us in here. But I was with my son, and we watched that Queen performance. Now it's 22 minutes long, that performance.
Is it right? Okay.
And 22 minutes long, and I mean, most people watching and listening to this will have seen. It's considered the best live rock performance ever. You know, that might be in contention, but it is considered by many. And my son was transfixed by this.
Yeah.
And whether you like Queen, like the music or not, it's very difficult to not be genuinely engaged and blown away by this. I mean, Freddie for a start. Just my hero.
Superstar.
You know, him and Bowie for me. Wow. And Paul Stanley, lead singer of Kiss. Those three combined.
Great.
I think that's what
Good
I am
choices.
in mind. It's the makeup, really. So we watched it, and I'm kind of watching my son watch a thing that I watched when I was, 5 or 6. I'm saying, what did you notice? And he said, nobody was holding a phone. And I know we hear about this. People talk about this all the time, and you read about it. But my own son was going, nobody's holding their phone up. And he obviously realises nobody had a mobile phone.
Yeah.
I was like, so what do you mean? And he was like, how many folk are there? And I was like, I think it was about 80,000. I mean, something like that.
Wild numbers,
and he said every single one of them was completely tuned in.
Yeah.
Everyone knew the lyrics. Nobody was watching it through that wee smudged rectangle. Nobody was quickly sending it to their pal and then missing 20 seconds.
So true.
All in it. And I look back to that moment. I'm like, that was remarkable.
Yeah,
it would be brilliant.
Can we get back to that? Can we have more moments like that? At least.
That's what it is. There's that old, you might have seen it, there's that image of it's an audience at a gig and there's a wee old lady down the front. Have you seen this?
I think so.
Everyone's recording it, except her. It looks about 80 and she's just like this, enjoying it. She's the only one that's in the moment. And I think I'd love that for my kids, to know truly what it's like to not rely on a phone.
Yeah, I know, it's so tricky. It really is.
Imagine how many miles we've all scrolled this year alone.
That's so funny you say that, because I was listening to your TED Talk again. You were like, one day we're just all going to be giant thumbs.
Oh,
and I was like,
we're evolving into thumbs.
I can't deal with that.
Did you know that the skeleton is evolving?
Is it like a proper
neck
situation now, isn't
It's
it?
basically a tail. Not in our lifetime.
Yeah.
A fin tail thing is going to appear on our necks.
No.
Because our heads are too heavy to have our heads down so much.
No.
Like, I mean, a tail in our necks.
No, stop immediately.
That gives me the balk.
Totally.
But we're making that happen.
It's wild, isn't it?
Big thin neck.
But what I think about you is, like, you are the kind of person, like, I mean, some of the speeches that I've seen you do online and heard you do, like, you do make such an impact in that moment. Like, surely you've heard from people and you're like, they're like, you have changed the way I think about things. And that, how do you do that? Like, how do you even start to convey these messages that you've got in your head that you can do it so, like, well, I'm not just now, eloquently and down to earth, and you make people feel excited and seen and heard. So you're not talking down to them. You're not like, you're all wrong, you should stop this. You know, like, you're like, be the milk, for instance. That just stayed with me. The minute you said that about the Rice Krispies in the bowl, they're bland, they're dry, they're crispy, they're not moving. Be the milk, you put the milk in, they come alive, they spill about,
they dance.
They are exciting to watch and listen to. So be the milk in your own life. I mean, when
that was an accident.
When you hear that, though, you're like, aye, that makes total sense. Like, as if I already knew that. But we didn't already know it. Yeah. You told us.
I think my stuff, it comes from such a real place in that I don't sit there and think, oh, let's make up something really clever. It's not. It's
not contrived that way.
Yeah, I think my teaching background and my stand-up background have played a huge part in what I do now. I mentioned earlier that they're kind of the same, and they are. That sort of writing process, that imaginative, the curiosity, the imagination side of it, just that creativity of producing something that just captures people's hearts and minds. But I think I just, since I was a wee boy, I think everyone used to say you've got your head in the clouds. You're just a daydreamer. You know, if you look at my reports, I had to find all my primary school reports in 2023 because I was on your listeners and viewers can decide what I'm talking about here for themselves. I was on a wee bit of a journey to work out a few things in my life, and I needed to produce those reports for certain individuals to decide whether I'm on a spectrum or not.
Got you.
You know?
I'm there.
And these reports, I mean, it's fascinating through primary school, the teachers who saw me and the teachers who didn't. You've got some reports from some teachers going, Gavin can't stop talking, he can't sit still. I mean, I don't need to say the rest.
Yeah.
And then you've got the teachers who are like, Gavin loves getting involved with stuff. Gavin's got an amazing imagination. And I think my view of the world, I think if everybody saw the world the same way I do, I just think it would be a better place. You know, when I'm writing, I just have this image in my mind of maybe how it should be, i.e. really kind and lovely. And I mean, we live on a planet where we could all be making art. Yeah. We could all be, whatever that art is, we could all be laughing and eating delicious food and celebrating each other's art and watching sunsets and looking at the most extraordinary creatures, sharing cultures, I mean, but we're not currently. No. Well, we are. We do live in a world that has that.
But then there's
if we go looking for it,
they're fighting over.
But it doesn't feel so good at the moment, and I think I just want everything to be okay. So when I'm writing, it's coming from the heart. It's that. It's not just head in the clouds. It's heart on the sleeve stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know how else to do it. So like. Someone asked me a similar question recently, like, how do you write your stuff? And I was like, well, I just write my stuff. And it's such a rubbish answer because, like, that doesn't help.
I can't help you. That's just what I do.
It doesn't help anyone, but I think...
Because for you, to me, are similar, I hope this is a compliment, to Billy Connolly.
Hey.
That, like, there's people in your life, like, when you think about people that inspire you or make you laugh or make you think... And, like, he's a massive one of my worlds. Like, I just think he's amazing.
A beautiful human.
And then when I discovered your books and discovered you and the way that you think about life and the way you put it forward to people, not in a judgmental or not a condescending, not a like, let's all just be like happy guys. And folk are like, well, that's not like totally possible. But the way that you present these ideas and your visions for what could be better for people and could be a nice life, that you're like you're in the same vein as Billy Connolly for me.
I don't know how to respond to that. Because he's absolutely a hero of mine, and I went to see him on his final tour. I'd never seen him live before.
Yeah.
I was in London for a speaking gig, and I arrived the night before and I saw that he was doing a run at the Apollo. And I remember sitting in the hotel thinking, I bet there's one ticket. Not everyone buys a pair of tickets or an even number. And I went to the box office and I said, we've got one. And for 2 hours and 10 minutes, 2 hours and 10 minutes, the guy, I mean, he's obviously at that point, he was really struggling with his Parkinson's, so there was nothing physical about the performance. Well,
yes.
I mean, him himself is enough. Like,
just
the
presence.
thing he gives off.
Yeah.
But 2 hours and 10 minutes, without a break, I had an aching feeling here. And I remember I barely slept that night. I just lay there going, how do you do that?
Yeah. But that's what I mean about you. Like, if somebody was to ask Billy, how do you write your stuff? He'd be like, oh, I don't. I just, because he doesn't prepare, he doesn't write stand up, he just does it. He's an observer of the world, which is what you are. And then he just tells it in how he sees it. And that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I do write. I don't stick to it though when I'm on stage.
Yeah, no,
something
totally.
happens. I think I am very comfortable on a stage. I'm not comfortable before I go on, and I'm not comfortable when I come off.
I'm the same. As a dancer, I'm exactly the same.
And if anybody wants to talk to me afterwards, I find it incredibly uncomfortable, almost painful. I just want to leave. I want to go
don't
home.
Talk to me.
Well, see in the days of doing... So I went back to stand-up 2010 to 2015. I was 1/3 of a sketch magic group.
Yes, you
Magic was not my thing, called The Colour.
Just when you thought Gavin had done enough. He's like, I did this other cool thing.
Well, this is it. We were called The Colour Ham, and it went bonkers. And this was as I was growing my business, I was writing my books, I was having kids. It was meant to be three mates having a laugh. It went absolutely bonkers. And I remember we would do the Fringe, and it would be like, 29 nights in a row or something. And every single night, without fail, even though we sold out the whole run, and I wasn't having to worry about tickets, and we had won one of the Fringe Awards that year, I remember every night, without fail, pacing backstage going, why are you doing this? Why are you you could be at home. with your kids.
Why you put yourself to do this?
Watching the TV.
I know.
You could do normal stuff. And then...
But you're choosing to do this madness.
Then I would get on stage in my dress or whatever
Yes,
character I was playing
yeah.
and have the most extraordinary 55 minutes. It was with my friends Colin and Kevin, and it was wild.
Because you're present and you're in it.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And the reviews were like mind-blowingly good. And then I'd come off stage going, God, that's why we do it. I get to do this again tomorrow. I'd go to my bed that night. I'd get up the next day and go, why am I doing this?
That resonates massively. See if I'm on stage and we're waiting for the curtains to open, see if they're just taking a wee bit too long. I'm like, right, this is murder.
Absolutely.
I'm never doing this again. Why am I putting myself... I don't need to be on this stage. What? Nobody asked me to. Like,
and I'm like, why are you performing at 9 o'clock at night? Be on at 6. And then you can
have
get
a nice
home.
life sitting in front of the telly.
You can get home for location. I'm just pulled to do
Yeah, there's an innate need for
these
it.
things that lift a room. And it sounds dead corny, but lift a room, excite a room. I want to do that for other people, and I think it helps me. I think I'm quite accepting of that now. That there was a desire to obviously do these things, but I think I need to be doing these things. I think
some people need to do cold water dips.
Yeah.
You need to be on a stage.
I need to shit myself.
It's funny how we just all have our thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And some people it's a private thing that they do on their own. Some people it's it's extreme sports or whatever it is.
It's my mindfulness.
Yeah.
And people they don't understand it.
I think it's wild that you would put yourself through that.
But as you just said, when you're on stage, you have no choice but be present.
Yeah, you can't think of anything else.
No.
Well, if you do,
you're either remembering.
Scuppered.
Well, in your case, you're remembering your routines.
Yeah.
The choreography. In my case, it's the words. Which you need to know before you go on to an extent.
Of course, yeah.
But when you're up there, the anxiety goes away. And I do struggle with anxiety. It is a thing. And again, people are just like,
Me too.
No, you don't. I'm like, no. And when I tell people I take antidepressants for my anxiety, that shifts the conversation all of a sudden because there is still a stigma there. And when you tell people you're on meds, they go, oh. And you're like, why did you respond like that?
Yeah.
Because if you go and ask everyone in this room,
are you on medication for asthma?
You'll find
or
out,
medication for...
Oh, listen, for depression, anxiety, most people I speak to these days.
Yeah, of course.
But when I'm up there...
Well, just you saying that, I mean, I appreciate you just being that honest just to say it, because when knowing that there is still a stigma, the only way we're going to get rid of the stigma is just to say it, just to talk about it.
I've taken antidepressants now since August or September, I think it was, 2023. So it's a fairly recent thing. But up until that point, I think I was always very much, I don't need medication. I'm just a nervous person. But of course, being nervous and being anxious are not the same thing. I think most of the world's population think they are the same thing. Yeah. As a kid, I was Gavin's a worrier.
It's like the same person.
Yeah. And they'd be like, what are you worried about? Nothing.
Just worried.
I've just got this extraordinary... Because I talk about my anxiety being like, when you used to swing on your chair. It's in the new book, by the way. When you swing on your chair at school.
Yeah.
And the chair just went, oh. So not a fall.
No, but
which actually is bad enough. Yeah. But a nearly fall is worse.
Correct.
Your life flashes before your eyes. And it's only for like 100th of a second.
But it's that, whoa.
You shit yourself.
Yeah.
And it leaves you shot. For 3 minutes, you're did you see me
nearly
nearly dying there? Woo! And you go through this ballet of emotion. And then, so if you imagine that, it's the scariest moment ever. Yeah. Just slight tip. Imagine in that point somebody had a magic remote control. So you've got that lightning bolt of physical panic ripping through your body. It's your head, your eyes, your chest, your stomach, your legs, your toes. Imagine somebody just went, pause. That's what anxiety.
Live there now.
That's what anxiety means to me. And in 2023, there was a 4-month spell where I couldn't switch it off. Yeah. Literally 24 hours. So I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop eating. I think I ate my body weight in crisps. I think back. I think in that moment, I was quite comfortable to tell people I am crisps. I was.
I now identify as crisps.
I ate a lot of crisps. But I couldn't stop eating. But I wasn't hungry. I just found comfort in shoving stuff in my face.
It's a distraction
I couldn't leave my
technique,
house
innit?
at one point, Lisa.
Yeah.
I was pacing up and down and
Yeah.
up. It was horrific. And then it got to the point where my wife, Ali, who is just amazing, because when somebody struggles with mental health, they're not the only one going through it.
No,
You know, everybody's coming on that journey with you.
Correct.
Your business is affected and all sorts. But I remember her saying, why will you not just go to the doctor?
Yeah, you would for any other
This is it.
illness or
This is
condition or
And I bumped into my neighbour,
symptoms.
who is a doctor, not my doctor, but a doctor. And I was quite open about it. And he was like, why are you not going to the doctor? And I was like, I don't think I need to. And he was like, why? And we had this interesting conversation where he kind of politely kicked my ass.
Yeah. Great.
And I went to the doctor and had a fascinating conversation. Chapter 5.
Nice.
It's called the Invisible Rucksack.
Interesting.
It was all unpacked there and then.
That's so interesting because I had Artie Joshi on the other week there, and she's a life coach, and we were talking about, and I had made the analogy of like
Does the radio stuff as well?
Yeah, totally.
Again, I do watch.
Thanks. She's amazing. She's another person that lights up the room and makes you feel better just being around them.
I got that.
And I had to do my bag, my handbag had spilled down the stairs, and like everyone just went everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like too much. There was like a peanut, and there was like loose change, and
everybody's got a peanut.
I know, but I've got like this literally. I identify as a peanut. I literally eat peanuts every day.
Peanuts, we are great snacks.
If I was to develop a peanut allergy, I don't know how I would survive not eating them. And like that, just that. Oh no, everyone's everywhere. And she was like, sometimes you just need to put it all out on the table, and that's what she was describing as a life coach. She facilitates that, so it's like, we'll do this together. It's fine that everyone's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like going to the doctor to get medication, or going to a therapist, or speaking to a pal, or whatever it is, whatever that is for you.
I also started seeing a therapist.
Yep.
About 6 weeks after that. Oh my God.
Best thing ever.
I don't know why it's not just part of life.
I know. Me too. Yeah. I would still be, if I could afford to go every month or every week or whatever, I would still be there.
I think it should be, we're obviously very fortunate in Scotland that we get our prescriptions.
Yes.
I think it should be on prescription. Maybe not every single week for everyone, but when you do need it, and even just a wee check-in.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate that the first therapist I went to see, we just connected immediately, because I do
hear
people saying,
the first person I met wasn't the right person, and I
think that's
quickly
quite common.
identified that, and I was like, thank you very much,
Yeah.
but I don't think this is correct. And then the second person was like,
and I think people watching
right
this should know that, because like, don't be put off if it's not the right person.
No.
Just go and find another.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think probably one of the few that it was just right. But see, when I went to the doctor, I had this incredible moment where I didn't know why I was there.
Okay.
Right? Well, I mean, no, I did, but I didn't. And we had this extraordinary conversation, and I could see her typing something on. I think she was typing to reception to say, you're going to have to shift all my other appointments here, because I was there for over 40 minutes.
Wow.
Which, I mean, they have to, 10
say,
minute slots
you
or
did
something.
well.
And we're having this conversation, and she could tell I was struggling. And she said, do you have like a mentor? And I was like, what? And she was like, a business mentor. So she knows I run a business.
Yes.
She was a new doctor, by the way. She only knew it because I just told her. I've never met this woman in my life.
Okay.
And she said, so you run a business. Do you have a business mentor? I was like, not really. There are people I could reach out to, but not in an official capacity.
Yes.
And she went, right. And then out of nowhere, she asked me a question. I don't know where it came from, because there's nothing about this in my records. Nothing. She said, where's your dad? Now, I lost my dad 14 years ago. And I do not know why she asked that question, because why would that be in my medical records? No. And she just went, where's your dad? And see, in that moment, everything came out my face.
Oh,
everything came out my face. Well, at that point, it'd be 12 years. 12 years of grief, upset, heart. And by the way, I grieved my dad beautifully. Like, it wasn't like I hadn't talked about it.
Yes.
I write about him in the book, but everything.
They just unlocked something.
Oh, my goodness.
Gosh.
And like I say, that invisible rucksack was unpacked. Not neatly. It just everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just still to this day, I think, why did you ask me that? Like, where
So
did
interesting.
that come from? But it was needed.
Well, I was going to say, it's all these like interactions in your life. You're like, that led to me to there, and it was hard and it was painful, or it's not all going to be beautiful, and it's all not all going to go well.
And I still don't believe I was there because I was struggling with the loss of my dad from 12 years before.
No, but
it's
just
definitely a thing.
helped you to release and go, right,
unreal.
let's get it all out. Let's
Yeah.
get it all out on the table.
Yeah. So I'm actually very grateful that she did ask
Of course,
it.
yeah.
But there was
At
a
the
moment
time,
where I was like, oh no.
Yeah, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like sometimes like facing yourself in it. And I guess writing these books, like you're that's all you're doing.
Yeah. So I remember when I wrote Life Will See You Now, your favourite book, I remember one of the reviews I got was, this isn't self-help, this is Gav help. He's written the damn thing for himself. It was a positive review.
Yeah.
It was 5 stars, but that's what they wrote. And I was like, oh my God. Like I have, because actually I wrote that book after what was effectively a bit of a nervous breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't know that was in 2023 I was going to have a bigger nervous breakdown. Like a almost catastrophic breakdown. And confidently lost. It's all in the title. You know, in the subtitle, finding joy in the chaos and rediscovering what matters most in life. That's what I had to do in 2023. Because joy, this sounds dead corny, joy just went missing. It went missing. And all these wonderful, lovely things that I do, these amazing people I get to work with, I couldn't feel joy. And what I've discovered is that joy is actually the key to most things. It's not the result of something. It's
the feeling.
Yeah, joy's not a reward.
No.
It's the joy that creates inspiration, innovation,
so right.
all that sort of stuff. But you know, people talk about you shouldn't chase happiness, you'll never find it. Agreed, and that's based on pretty much scientific research and fact and psychology.
Yes.
But I had I'm ruining this book for you, by the way. I had a moment in the back garden where I discovered what I now know is known as glimmers, and the psychology and science of glimmers. Now, I know the word glimmer, but I never read like proper science about this. But I had a moment in the garden where, I mean, we were, oh my goodness, 3 months into this, whatever was going on in my head and body, all-time low, didn't know how much more I could take, and I don't mind saying that out loud. I was getting to a point where I was like, I don't know how much more I can take of this. And I heard a jingle. Now, the jingle was the ice cream van. But where I live in Edinburgh, there's not an ice cream van comes round our bit.
Right.
We have ice cream vans, but not in our street, ever. I've never seen it. I've been there nearly 10 years, or about 10 years. I could hear an ice cream van. And I looked at my wife, Ali. It was a beautiful day. I was like, do you hear that? And she was like, I do. And for 30 seconds, in my head, I was transported to my hometown of Troon, where there was always an ice cream van, a permanent ice cream van. Yeah. I was on the beach. I had my 50 pence, because that's how much a 99 cost in those days.
Yes.
And you got a full-size flake, not a half flake. Honestly, it's not cool. Kids just don't understand.
Beautiful times, simpler times.
I could smell sunburn. Like, that's a weird thing to say. I could see my mum, my dad, my brother, my gran. So that's the first part of this. I was transported to Troon for 30 seconds, but here's the key, Lisa, right? For 30 seconds, I wasn't thinking about how I was feeling.
That rucksack's
for the first time in months.
Yeah.
And it's like that moment the sun hits your face. And you literally just go, and the world lifts. It might just be for 20 seconds, but it's beautiful. And I thought, what just happened?
Yeah.
Because it was the first time for so long that
And you would have been able to believing that you could get that ever again.
That's it. And then I thought, I need to find more of these moments. And maybe if you get enough of them, you piece a day worth back. And maybe you get a day of not having this horrific feeling that you can't stop thinking about. And that's when I discovered the science of glimmers and how that's a thing. It's the opposite of a trigger. It's connected to your well, some people call it your vagus nerve. I think it's your vagus nerve. It sends a message to your brain, not of fear and panic, but of safety. And your brain goes, oh, we're all right.
We're all right.
So I thought, well, I'm going glimmer hunting. It's like the new Pokemon. Got to catch them all. But as I say in the book, you don't have to catch them all. You just need one wee moment.
Yeah.
It could be the smell of fresh bread. You know, it could be a hug, a rainbow, your dog. It doesn't matter what it is. But it's, as an adult, it's taking that, kids do it so naturally all the time. It's actually noticing. And then allowing yourself that moment to let it do its thing and not just rubbish it as a everyday silly thing.
So true.
So basically, I discovered that joy lives in glimmers, live in joy, however you want to put it, but it's the wee things. It's the stuff that, as adults, because there's so much going on in the world, and we feel that, and we read about it constantly, and we scroll constantly, and we're busy with life and jobs and family responsibilities.
Yeah.
We don't perhaps notice these things
No,
the
we
way we
don't.
used to. And I think, I gave a speech at an event for head teachers recently. It was 250 secondary heads. Still terrifying. And I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and it's
Like,
oh,
a punny to do.
do you know a punny eckie? That's what it was like. It was like I've been called to the office, which would have terrified the life out of me as a child, and still does. But I decided to talk about this, and I talked about glimmers, and I talked about how it's always things that maybe as kids we got excited about, as adults we didn't.
Just forget.
And right in the middle of my 1 hour talk, we were at the Cameron House Hotel, so beautiful, put the lights up, and I had spoken with the team that run it, and the team came out with champagne buckets full of ice, but with fruit pastel ice lollies. Coming out.
Yes!
The queen of ice lollies. And 250 head teachers all sat eating an ice lolly as I continued my talk. And still months later, everybody's talking about the ice lolly. And
What a genius.
And it was just this beautiful moment where they all had a glimmer moment, just for 2 or 3 minutes.
See if you can give that to somebody. See if you're the reason why somebody stops and goes, like you brought me this book today and mini eggs. And I was like, how nice is that? This whole conversation has been a glimmer, can I just say? We're talking about like things that happen in seconds and you just have to like, but for me, like I'm just sitting here going, how lucky am I to do this? Like, people don't get this.
And can I just say, you're amazing at it.
Pal, I'm just sitting here enjoying just everything.
Being you.
And you're being you.
And you've effectively asked me, how are you being you?
I'm like, how do you do this?
Yeah.
I'd quite like to do this.
How do you do
with
this?
That?
What's that?
And even looking at your logo and your jumper, I was like, that's so Gavin. It's just, I'm so impressed. Sounds like, wow, you're like all these amazing things. And I'm just impressed by you.
See,
you, like, as much as I know you.
And isn't it so weird that makes me feel so uncomfortable?
Sorry, pal.
No, don't apologise.
But I know what you mean.
But that's my
You're
life.
Like, oh, look at me.
Yeah, well, this is it. I'm a total introvert.
No,
like, I'm really private, really quiet, really anxious, really protective of, well, more so since COVID. I think COVID taught me that I'm away too much and I'm doing too much. And,
Fair enough, yeah.
But I want to be on stage and in front of the camera, and it's so bizarre.
I know.
It's so bizarre.
But it's nice you're figuring it out, you're figuring yourself out, and you're evolving like naturally, as we all do as you go along, and your family's evolving and changing, and you're learning all. Like, if we're just, every day should be a school day, that thing that we say. But it should, if you can take something away from each day, going, I've learned that not to do that, or to do more of that, or I wouldn't do it quite like that, then I think that's all. We can only do our best.
Yeah, absolutely. And things will always change and keep moving. I mean, like I said earlier, I'm 46 now, and
you're just a young thing.
Well, it's funny. It feels like a strange moment because it's kind of nearly 50.
I know. I mean, I'll be 44 this year, so I'm not far behind.
You are younger than me. But it's like, but I'm looking at it going, well, 50. Like, I'm not 50 yet, but I'm looking at it going, I remember my mum's surprise 40th.
Yeah, I know.
Not 50th,
Wild,
40th.
Yeah.
And that feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
And my again, to repeat myself, my son's 18, my daughter's 14, and I'm learning a lot from them. And I was telling you before this, my daughter is this beautiful dancer.
That's so
and
cool.
I'm discovering dance, not for me to do.
I definitely think you should still get the hoodie, though. You were saying you're not allowed to get dance dad on the back. I'm like, get it made.
She would not be happy if I'm walking about with dance dad. I would though. I could grow my beard back, But in my son, he's going to be doing video game art, which
so
I'm like,
cool.
Where's that come from? Just amazing.
So all these adventures that are still to come for you and your family, and all the while you're seeking out the joy for yourself, whether that's privately and with your family or
consciously seeking it out. I think that's the bit where it's shifted. I'm noticing it deliberately and not allowing myself to overlook. I mean, the world's big and shouty and noisy and quite angry at the moment, but it's also not. It's beautiful. I mean, there's nature, there's art, there's music, there's food. Man, I love food.
Me too.
I really love food. There's travel. Okay, maybe not as much travel in the world at the moment. I mean, I'm meant to be going to Japan in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And it looks like we're maybe not going because we were meant to be going via Dubai.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Trip of a lifetime with the kids. But anyway, we'll see what happens
Hope that
there.
happens for you.
But travel is immense and the world is rammed with joy. But when
you go and dig it out.
You that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And you need to do that action as you do it.
Do that.
You need to dig it out. Go find it. Notice it. Do what I did. Well, I was not in a good place, but I started writing these wee things down. So it's not quite journaling, but I was writing things down, and I was basically creating a glimmer list. But I didn't know about glimmers really at that time.
Interesting.
So I called it my mental Lucozade list. Because I just remember my gran saying to me, whatever's wrong with you, just get a bottle of Lucozade, son, and a punnet of grapes.
Punnet of grapes.
But do you remember the Lucozade with the foil wrapper?
Yes, I do.
My gran was severely epileptic and she was like in her 80s and 90s and she was in the hospital after this extraordinary seizure and a fall where she'd almost bitten her tongue off.
Oh my God.
And she's like, I'm fine, Lucozade and grapes.
Oh, well, that's it.
So I was like, well, I need the mental... So
yes.
Mental Lucozade and mind grapes was what I was searching for. And then when I found the science of glimmers, I was like, that's a much nicer word. It's just much easier, a bit more succinct than mental Lucozade and mind grapes.
Well, you're saying all these like lovely things like art and, and time with family and food, and this is my glimmer for sure.
Well, I think, but doing this, like, okay, this is being recorded, but...
Yeah, but we forgot about that.
But it's usually... Well, totally. But,
yeah.
But usually...
Because I'm sitting slouched. And every time I watch it back, I'm like, Lisa. But that means
I'm holding my crisps in at the moment.
That means I'm in it and I wasn't thinking about being recorded. And I always say, like, if nobody was to listen, I'm still so delighted that we had this conversation. Like, it's not... It's just a bonus that other people might hear it and get something from it.
You should get another microphone stand and have an ice cream on one. And whilst you're chatting... But you don't. But it's not weird. Like you forget about it. So as we were chatting, and you get through a whole ice lolly ice cream during your podcast.
I should have done that. Right, next time, all right.
I thought about it.
I'll get you a fruit pastel ice lolly,
or a Mr. Whippy with a giant flake. But yeah, I mean, it might melt, but so.
We're like,
as adults,
Gavin Oattes' rider is not that bougie.
Yeah, there's no puppies.
Some crisps. Maybe a fruit pastel ice lolly.
Listen, I was in it, crisps. But the thing is that this, like the physical act of this, like, I mean, usually it's this, we're texting people mostly or voice notes, and but this, doing this,
nothing beats it for me. Nothing beats it.
It's just magical. Everyone talks about how we're so connected with the world now, but we're less connected with ourselves. But actually, I remember speaking to some kids at my wife's school, this is ages ago now, and I mentioned I didn't have a phone at their age. Of course, they thought I was dead funny. I was like the oldest, most boring guy in the room. But the first question was, how did you speak to your friends? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, calling in for your pals, unannounced. I mean, if you turn up at someone's house now, unannounced, you freak them out. They're like, what's wrong?
What's the problem?
But if you say to them, you're coming out, they'll be like, what? To do what? Get a nice lolly. That's what you have to do this week, call in for someone unannounced. In fact, everybody watching and listening to this has to call in for a pal within a week of watching this. Yeah. Call in for a pal, completely unannounced, knock the door, ring the bell, hide for a moment, because that's funny. That's good. Always, bit chappy. Good. Yeah. And then maybe put your BMX in the front garden as well, so your mum knows we are. But when they answer the door, they'll be like, is everything okay? And you just say, you're coming out. That's your homework.
I could do this forever. Gavin Oattes, you are one of a kind.
You too.
I really, really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You're Braw and Brave, and that's why they're on the Braw and the Brave. And until next time, because there will be a next time.
With ice lollies.
Thank you so much. Everybody has to go and get this now. And this, my favourite book in the whole world.
Audio versions available too.
Nice one.
And it's me that's reading them.
Correct. This is correct. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
I've loved it.
Me too.
And until next time, you know what I'm going to say after just talking about social media, but if you want to follow the Braw and the Brave, I would love it if you come and join us on this journey. I clearly love doing this, and I love that you're part of this community. So if you're watching, thank you so much. And until next time, we'll leave you with something here.